You're all the same.
Excuse me?
You prosecutors with your loopholes and your cover-ups.
I would appreciate it if the witness kept his needless slander to himself.
Slander, is it? Then let me ask you this.
What?
Not you. Her! Tell me, Chief Prosecutor, 2 years ago, the SL9 incident, was all the evidence in that case legit?
During that case, we sometimes felt that the law was powerless, at least I did. Lana? Drastic crimes require drastic measures. We did what we had to do to bring the murderer to justice.
What are you saying?
Even if it involved forging evidence.
I knew it. You prosecutors all this got no concept of rules, boundaries, of
All the
justice.
unsubstantial
All that matters to you is winning. Whether it's the cop,
The suspicions that haunted me for the last 2 years are all true.
you just
You have
raise
no
it
idea
to
how many
be
times I've tried to defend myself against allegations
just to
of
get your
forgery,
guilty
placing my full confidence in your integrity as an investigator. And now you're charging me with
See that
so-called
you're
integrity.
doing the
All
right
right.
thing. You're playing with people's lives here, and if you cared, maybe you'd think twice about who you point your finger at.
The judge's gavel fell on deaf ears. Lana had to be rushed from the court to quell the noise. The conclusion of the trial would have to wait until tomorrow.
You were nearly sunk, and it's all my fault.
Don't blame yourself, Mr. Wright. Mr. Edgeworth played a very clever game.
How exactly is that supposed to make me feel better? I got completely sidetracked. Been chasing the truth this whole time, forgetting that our job is to defend Lana.
We're not beaten yet. We just have to stay focused so that we win tomorrow. Well, I'm going back to the police department. I'll meet you there when you pulled yourself together. That was possibly the worst performance I've ever seen. I'd say you're the best lawyer a guilty person could hope for. Since there's no possible way you can win, these files should at least satisfy your curiosity. Lana. P.S. To complete your collection, here is the final piece of registered evidence from the SL9 case.
I'll be out in a minute.
Take your time.
I didn't expect a symphony visit.
That's not why I'm here. But I am sorry I outed you.
You can't stop the wheels turning. They would have found out anyway. Turns out I'm not the master of stuff I thought I was.
Are you going to appeal?
No point. They can't prove a motive, but with the evidence they got, my face might as well be on tape.
Well, I think I might have found your motive. I was reading through the SL9 case files, and a name popped out at me. Neil Marshall? Any relation to you?
He was my brother. My little brother. And he was a prosecutor. One of the best.
Hold on.
I'm not sure that the earlier victims wasn't involved in the case to start. It's only when the prosecutor in charge was convicted that I was involved.
Your brother was the prosecutor on the SL9 case.
I remember when he told me he was given the case. I was thrilled. We'd never worked together before. I couldn't wait to see him in action. But I never got the chance. He was working late one night, questioning a suspect.
Joe Dark.
He escaped during the middle of the interview. Neil chased him. The report says there was a fight and Dark killed him.
But you don't believe the report, do you?
Neil was the best fist fighter there was. No one could get the upper hand on him. And there's more to it than that. There were inconsistencies in the evidence. We disregarded them to get a conviction. And after the case was over, all the detectives who worked on it were taken care of. Except Goodman.
Why Goodman?
To hide the fact that they want to get rid of anyone who knew anything about SL9. And that's how I know we never got the full picture in that case. Something else happened that night. Something was covered up.
You couldn't let that go. So you broke in and took the evidence.
Actually, no.
Huh?
Didn't you ever wonder why the glove was stuck in the door? Someone was there first, and it looks like they were a lot more careless than me. When I opened the locker, it was empty, and without the evidence, there's no case. And even with Miss Guy's confession, I failed.
Not entirely. Thanks to you, the SL9 evidence that remains has become a part of this case. There's still a chance we can find out what really happened.
See this? It was taken the day he died. 2 years and 3 days ago exactly. It was the night of the award ceremony, when he was given the King of Prosecutors trophy.
It still had the sword on it back then.
He was the last person to hold the trophy like that. Next year it was just a shield. I don't know if it's just coincidence, but my brother was the last honest prosecutor to hold that trophy. And I appreciate you trying to help, Mr. Wright, but I can't find justice for my brother in a corrupt court.
Well, you should still come to the trial tomorrow, because corrupt or not, it's your last chance to find out what really happened.
Mr. Wright?
Jake? Sorry.
Just don't give up again.
Deal. So, what did you find?
Nothing. The evidence room is as clean as a whistle.
It's okay. I don't think that's our worry anymore.
What do you mean?
Lana pulled some strings and sent me the SL9 case files, and while I was leafing through them, 2 names caught my eye. One of them was on the witness list. It was you, Emma.
Me? That's not right. What's the other name?
Neil Marshall.
I hope I'd never hear of that case again. I was in the room when Neil Marshall was killed. It was the worst day of my life.
I'm sorry, but I need to know what happened.
I've been trying to forget about this for 2 years. Please don't make me go back there.
Emma, we have to. Everything I read in those files tells me that SL9 is joined to our case by the hip.